Hello sisters, in this video I want to talk about menarche, which is a kind of fancy word really to describe when a girl first starts her period. She's coming in to her womanhood, her blossoming as a feminine being is really kind of gaining speed in her life, and we are birthing a brand new woman. So really, I just wanted to talk about menarche in the context of how the ancient peoples would have respected and honoured this process of a girl starting her period. It was considered a very sacred time, and they would have marked it with some sort of ceremony inside of the red tent. Of course, the women would gather and they would welcome the young girl as a woman in her own right, blossoming and developing, and they would welcome her into the tribe of women, and now able to enter into the red tent on her own terms because her menstruation had begun. Her life as a reproductive female had begun, and that was celebrated. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful thought, because we have lost this in our 21st century minds. And maybe it's something that we really do need to reclaim with our daughters. And the reason that I feel that it's so super important is because we have kind of understood, obviously, that girls start their periods maybe 11, 12, 13. Some maybe a bit younger, some maybe a bit older. And we've obviously deemed it as a necessary part of our life as a woman, but we have interpreted it as a curse. In fact, certain people groups do in fact call it the curse, when actually it is a blessing. It's a blessing of life, and we don't honour it. We maybe tell a girl what's going to happen to her body. We give her sanitary towels to help her protect herself. We tell her how Tampax works, and that really is about it. We don't really do much else, and I find that that's just such a great big shame. A big shame. We don't celebrate the girl becoming a woman, and because we don't celebrate it, it's almost as though we're ashamed, or society's ashamed, and we're pushing that part of ourselves. We're squashing this feminine aspect of ourselves down. We can't talk about that. That's a secret. It's taboo. It's not the done thing to talk about it or to recognise it, and you don't go around announcing the fact that you've started your periods. And girls can be ashamed, in fact, to admit that they've started their periods or are on their period, and all of these things start to come into play. So I'm not one of these women who's an advocate of free bleeding and we just sit about bleeding all over the place. No way. But I do feel that we do need to celebrate our young women much, much more than we do into coming into a place of womanhood on their own terms. And wouldn't it be beautiful to arrange a ceremony in some way with our daughters as they begin their life as a woman who's able to give life and birth to other human beings, and help them to fully understand that can happen to their bodies, and how it could happen, how we could prevent it from happening, how maybe they might be physically ready but not emotionally ready. And it's a great time to begin to talk about relationships and sexuality, the sexual act as a sacred union between two people. It's a wonderful place to start to bring some of these themes and these topics to a young girl's heart. And we've bypassed it, and we've allowed schools to do it, and we've allowed peers to do it, and we've allowed some mums do it very beautifully, others don't do it at all. And wouldn't it be a wonderful thing if we reinstated our sense of celebrating with a young girl as she comes to her fullness, and we endorse that in her, and we make her and we help her to feel very, very honoured in this change of life as she comes from a child to a woman. And this is just really what I wanted to say, and I appreciate your thoughts on it. There's lots more to discuss. Maybe you've done this with your daughters, and It's been fantastic. So I'm really interested to hear how we can push this forward, move this forward, and what your ideas are, and how we can support you as a mum in your community, or if you're experiencing starting your own periods with your mother, or your situation was traumatic, maybe you need some healing for that, simply because of the things I've been saying. And come and join us at our Heart Maidens Facebook page, because we'd love to have you there.